the Affinity Intercultural Foundation Day to be critical within.
Thank you for joining us today, and I hope to see you again at our future events.
Good afternoon. My name's John Cleary. It's my privilege to welcome you here today, and I'd like to begin by acknowledging the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation as the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we stand. We pay our respects to their elders, both past and present. For those who've never attended an Affinity event before, let me briefly introduce the organisation. Affinity was formed by a group of young Muslim Australians in the year 2000. Their aim is to promote multiculturalism and to foster intercultural and interfaith dialogue by building bridges between different groups in society. And to give you a brief idea of the work of Affinity, here's a short video, only a couple of minutes, which will introduce you to the breadth of what Affinity is doing around the country.
Everyone's responsibility.
Australia is a warm, welcoming, open country.
Having respect for all people, regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of gender, and very, very importantly, regardless of the colour of a person's skin.
People of all kinds are seeing the differences, I think, a little more clearly.
For me, it's about returning to the lived experience that people have on race and ensuring that we live up to the best of our traditions as a country.
The culture that they set will be the culture they inherit.
To be able to share more information, whether it's intelligence or case management material, whatever it is, faster and better.
In addition, the Department of Social Services is working closely with other departments like Employment, Education and Training, Human Services and Immigration and Border Protection on improving employment outcomes for humanitarian entrants.
And this has got to be the largest number that we've had here.
The night is about you and us and as a community.
Learning from each other, that's what Australia allows us to do.
We are working together to make New South Wales safer. In fact, we have done that for many, many years.
As we've come from so many other lands that we were able to meet here as one.
We are the most culturally diverse country in the world.
We all learn a little bit more about ourselves and about our community.
Ramadan is that time of year that Muslims go deep. They reset the clock, take extra time to consciously reflect on their lives and reaffirm their commitment to God and to the precious bonds that connect us all as family and brothers and sisters in humanity.
Courage, dedication, mateship, a sense of fairness.
What we have seen and experienced by words and music this evening are the sort of things that hold us together and enable us to move forward together.
Thank you for joining us today, and I hope to see you again at our future events. Thank you so much.
Affinity. Well, I'd like to introduce you now to today's facilitator, and it's a great privilege for me to introduce my very old friend and long-time colleague at the ABC, Quentin Dempster. Quentin Dempster, AM, is a contributing editor of the New Daily. He's chairman of the Walkley Foundation, which administers the annual Walkley Awards for excellence in Australian journalism. He's a former ABC TV current affairs presenter and interviewer and author of 3 books: Honest Cops, Whistleblowers, and another I'll mention in a moment. In 1986, he also wrote and produced The Sunshine System, an ABC TV documentary about institutionalised corruption in Queensland, and forever became enshrined in the memory of Joh Bjelke-Petersen and all that his regime stood for. my connection with Quentin relates to the book I haven't mentioned, a book called Death Struggle, about the sort of politics and life in the ABC. Originally, it was going to be named for the ABC site on the North Shore and the then managing director, David Hill. It was going to be called Gore Hill. But for some reason, the publishers thought that Death Struggle was more appropriate. I still think Quentin Gore Hill would have been a title for the ages. Quentin and I have had a long engagement in public broadcasting advocacy. We've both had the privilege of serving on the board of directors of the ABC as staff-elected director. And from my getting to know Quentin during those years and in his years since, he's become a tireless advocate for freedom and independence in journalism in Australia and protecting journalists in Australia. In 1992, he was made a member of the Order of Australia for his services to journalism and current affairs. Would you please welcome Quentin Dempster?